Over the past 3 seasons, Ohio State wide receiver Emeka Egbuka has consistently been one of the best playmakers in all of college football. And looking forward to the 2025 NFL Draft, he's one of the safest prospects on the board in my opinion, making him a really good asset for Dynasty Fantasy Football. He'll likely end up being drafted in the mid-20s in the first round, and while landing spot's a pretty big factor for him, I think he has a really high floor when it comes to how good he can be in his NFL career. He's got good route running skills, great speed, clutch ability, and has been extremely productive over the last few seasons. Ohio State is known for producing great wide receiver talent in the NFL, so maybe the slot wide receiver's time to shine when he makes it to the league. We'll be checking out Egbuka's advanced stats, as well as film from each of the past 3 seasons, to assess how good of an NFL prospect he really is, and if he truly can end up being one of the safest prospects in the NFL draft. Let's take a look. So starting off looking at some of Emeka Egbuka's advanced stats from PFF, we can see first off what you're going to notice, and the reason we're going to go through one game from each of the past 3 years is because his production profile. 3 different quarterbacks over the last 3 years with CJ Stroud, Kyle McCord, and Will Howard. And you can see in 2023, still productive despite missing 4 or 5 games with an injury. And then the other 2 years, over 1,000 yards and 10 touchdowns. In each of those years, he was fully healthy. And you can see the grades, very consistent, strong grades across the board every single year. And then looking at just 2024 specifically, strong performances against Oregon, another good one against Indiana, solid game against Michigan, and then a good game against Tennessee, as well as some good performances in the cultural playoff against Oregon, Texas, and Notre Dame. So obviously in the Big Ten, no shortage of good competition, and Egbuka's been dominating this good competition for 3 straight years with different quarterbacks. And you can see his slot usage has gone up every single year. It peaked at 81.1% of his snaps in the slot this year, but he still played out wide a bit, 16.5% out wide, so not bad at all. And then a pretty solid 476 yards after the catch. That's a pretty good number to see. So you can see the ratings are pretty good. Passer rating when targeted as well, 121.2. That's pretty good. So overall, a lot to like with Egbuka, backing up the fact that he's a very well-rounded, safe prospect at the wide receiver position. So this first group of clips is from the Notre Dame versus Ohio State game from 2023. Then we're going to get into the Buckeyes game against the Michigan Wolverines in 2022, and then ending with a game from this past year against Oregon, of course, in 2024. So starting off, obviously, with this Notre Dame 2023 game, Egbuka with a really good performance here. We're going to start off with this play. It's going to be kind of a pick play from Ohio State. They're going to have this receiver running a fade out of the slot up here, then Egbuka running a slant inside towards the middle. So kind of the idea is to create some collision over here, allowing Egbuka to break free over. Hopefully the idea is for him to come uncovered after maybe a sort of collision over here, or at least a lot of obstacles in this corner's path when everything crosses paths. Main thing to highlight here, we can see it's a really good route from Egbuka. He's able to throw a nice release, close space, and then just turn on a dime inside on this slant. So the corner, even if it wasn't a pick play, I think would have gotten beat here. Egbuka didn't even need the help. But he's going to make a nice catch over the middle, but just showing the quick route running inside. Usually he's a slot guy, but he can play on the outside like we've seen here and get some separation. So we'll go ahead and watch the play. He's going to close space right here. He's close space, and he's going to turn on a dime inside like that and make a nice catch in stride. Good play. Next, another short little clip here, we're going to see Egbuka running a crossing route over the middle here, guarded man-to-man by this Notre Dame defender. At the break of the route, about here, we're going to see Egbuka use a bit of physicality. You can call it a push-off if you want, but a little bit of hand fighting. He's going to make a really nice break that causes the defender to move off his route a little bit, creating a bit of separation. You'll see what I mean here in a second, but a good route from Egbuka. He's going to come wide open over the middle, and these separation skills evident from the first 2 clips we've watched here. There's no question about that, and he's a really well-rounded receiver, as we're going to see throughout the clips in the video. This is just the first game. So Egbuka, this receiver right here in the trips formation, starts out his route, and right here at the top, he's sold this route vertical so far, like he's just going to run straight, and then he's going to snap it off this way, not running here. The defender isn't ready for it and has to take more of a rounded angle, and there's the separation you're going to see right there. Separation and a good throw. Good catch, good route. Here's the route in full speed one more time. At the top. Good stuff. This next play here, we're going to see some really good route running from Egbuka. Again, a really nice play design from Ohio State. Another pick play. They're going to have this receiver just run a go route up towards the end zone. Egbuka, he's covered by this defender here, so Egbuka has this matchup. And he's going to kind of hover behind the receiver in front of him and then break out as if he's going to the flat and then pull that double move, cut back inside right behind this receiver and just absolutely route up the defender in front of him, who was totally prepared for Egbuka to just run into the flat under this route. So he was ready to cut this off over the top, makes his way over here, and then Egbuka, really nice cut back inside, comes wide open for the touchdown. Right here you can see this defender having to navigate around this receiver and the corner. So he doesn't really have a good view on Egbuka, and he's also kind of fighting through the obstacles in his path. Pretty good pick play. Right here is prepared for Egbuka to go here, but he's going to cut back and leave the defender in the dust. Right there, and then there's the cut. Defender doesn't know what hit him. Wide open. Touchdown. Playback full speed. Right here. There it is. Really good route from Egbuka. Really fluid. Moving in and then out. Or out and then in, excuse me. Here's the replay. And what a catch, too, in the back of the end zone. Really good hands catch. Away from his body while he's falling down to get those feet in. Called a touchdown on the field, of course. Really great play. Right here, Egbuka doesn't draw the target, but it's a really nice double move route. You're going to see he's going to get up here, fade back into like a curl, and then snap it off. And this corner gets completely fooled and has to turn around, try to track this. If this ball was thrown really well, maybe to Egbuka's back shoulder, if it was actually thrown to him even, but to his back shoulder, it would have been a free touchdown. So expect to see something like that in the NFL again. Egbuka even producing on the outside here. Right here at the bottom of your screen. Breaks down the route really nicely, fools the defender who breaks inside, and then there's the juke. Defender isn't ready, and right here, if you throw this ball, obviously he didn't, right here as he breaks back inside, it's going to be a touchdown. This right here is kind of showing the play situation for our next. We're going to have this for the next two plays. And this is showing how good Egbuka can be in the clutch. Against Notre Dame, of course, last year, fourth quarter, 1 minute, 18 seconds to go on 3rd and 10. So this is a must-have situation. You can see how the closest score is. Ohio State down by 4 in a ranked game. So Egbuka, we're going to see that clutch factor come out of him here. Here he is matched up man-to-man with this defender. We're going to see him run to the defender's outside shoulder. And when this corner gives up just a little bit of leverage trying to guard to the outside, Egbuka is going to accelerate, cut back inside, where the defender's flipped his hips this way. He's going to cut back inside, taking advantage of how the defender is moving, and really just without losing any acceleration, continue moving upfield and come open for this play that extended the drive, the eventual game-winning drive against Notre Dame. So watch for this, the outside, inside, just targeting that leverage and breaking down the defender in a man-to-man situation. That's exactly what you want to see from a slot receiver, hoping to make a big impact in the NFL. He's a really technical route runner. You can see it here. Right here, leans the outside. When the defender kind of moves that way, maybe doesn't exactly give up leverage, but backs off this way, giving at least more space over here. Egbuka is going to fly back inside. That great acceleration. Stop because the throw was cut short a bit. Stop, make the adjustment, make the catch, and then keep going for a couple more yards. And I mean, you can see this throw was short. Egbuka has to adjust to it. It could have been out in front of him. It wasn't. It was short. But as you can see, just a great route. And comes back to the ball. It's what you want to see. Really good trait there. And then next play here. 15 seconds left on 3rd and 19. Again, same drive on the Notre Dame 22. This is going to be, one of the clutchest plays in the game. Probably second to his play on the last clip we watched. From this play, what we're going to see is a pretty conservative defense from Notre Dame, obviously, because it's a long yardage situation on 3rd down. They have 3 defenders already very deep. This defender is going to drop back into this zone. This defender over here. So these 2 receivers are almost taken out of the play by the coverage immediately. Egbuka is going to run between these 2 zones, between where these 2 safeties are back here. And there's going to be just a small little space over right here at the goal line. McCord is going to put this ball on Egbuka immediately. He's going to have to turn and make a really quick adjustment because the ball is slightly away from him and make a really nice adjustment on the catch in the clutch down to the 1-yard line. That's set up for the game-winning touchdown for Ohio State. So watch Egbuka run through these zones. Right here you can see this is the spot he's going for right back here. McCord's already thrown it. You can see Egbuka's tracking in the air, turns around, makes the catch against the hits from the safeties, goes down at the 1. That is as clutch as it gets, that adjustment on the catch. He can come back to the football. He's shown it the last 2 plays. Watch it one more time in full speed. Finding the hole in that zone and then McCord hitting him. Nice adjustment. Starting off with our film against the 2022 Michigan team here. Egbuka in the slot right here in the red zone. He's going to run just a slant to the inside and gain a lot of separation against this defender who plays pretty decent coverage on it, but still a nice catch from Egbuka in the end zone. So you can see he can be that red zone target out of the slot that can run these short yardage routes and gain a lot of separation on a slant like this over the middle. So watch Egbuka number 2 and just fly off the break in that route, come open, and nice catch through the contact. We'll watch it again here. How fast he was, that acceleration over the middle, and good catch. We're going to see the start to a really good route from Egbuka. He's going to be matched up with this deeper defender in man coverage right here. He's going to release to the inside, move around the corner, and then try to break into a corner route here. It's ran really well with a lot of acceleration. This defender was not prepared for how fast Egbuka is. If the ball came to him, it most likely would have been a flag pretty easily, but the referees didn't see it here. But I mean, the start of this route, the release, and then his acceleration just getting around the corner, he's going to bend this route really well back to the corner of the field. So, I mean, you can see the start to a really good route here, and I think it's just really telling of how good Egbuka is out route running, because this would have been a really huge play if he wasn't held. And you can see he's matched up right here, goes around, and then breaks back around. If he wasn't held, would have found this wide open patch of green grass here. But I mean, that bend around the defender, here's Egbuka, bends around, and then he's going to snap this around, but he's just held. I think it's a really good looking route, or at least the start to one. Another good example of Egbuka's underrated speed, I think one of his really good qualities. He's going to start to bend this route inside. Once the defender backs off this way, giving up leverage over here, he's going to break it back out and over the middle of the field, where there will be an open space up here, and just come wide open for a huge play for Ohio State. And I mean, part of my reason for choosing a game from each of the past 3 years is showing that he's been doing this stuff for years. He's been a playmaker for multiple years at Ohio State, one of the best football schools in the country that consistently produces NFL wide receiver talent, and he is the next in line here. But again, you see the route running, you see the hands, you see the speed. This guy is a do-it-all receiver out of the slot. He has a lot of really good qualities, and I think he's a really high-floor prospect going into the 2025 NFL Draft. But again, we'll get into more of that later. But just breaking down the specific play, just watch how he bends it in, then breaks out after the corner, gives up some ground to the inside, assuming he's going to bend it across the field. See it there, bends it in, and then he's going to break back out right there. Defender doesn't know what hit him. Huge play for the Buckeyes. Then here's the replay here. Stroud sees his big weapon, make a huge play, great route, and gets taken down. Finally diving into some of the 2024 film, we're going to see Egbuka versus the number 1 Oregon Ducks. Obviously a very good team all around. They ended up beating this team in the playoffs later, but this was the matchup during the regular season in which Ohio State ended up losing. But on our first play, we're going to see a real good example of Egbuka's versatility. Egbuka lines up in the backfield a decent amount of the time, just shows off how versatile he can be at the next level, maybe taking touches out of the backfield. But Ohio State, they're going to pull this guard across to block the edge rusher and then have the running back also be the lead blocker here. And Egbuka able to squeeze through the blocks, read him pretty well with his vision, and picks up a decent yardage gain here. So just showing off his versatility and athleticism, what he can bring to an NFL offense, not just operating from the slot and the outside, but also in the backfield, could be something to watch at the NFL level. So watch Egbuka with the yellow arrow. Give him the ball, good block, squeezes out, makes one man miss, sheds the block on that, which is pretty nice to see. Obviously there it is, and doesn't get tackled there. Good gain. Right here, really good play design from Chip Kelly in this Ohio State offense. We're going to see a zone defense from Oregon. They're going to have a zone out here and a zone shallow right here. That's all you really need to worry about in this play. We're going to see this receiver down here run a deeper route up towards the goal line, really. That's going to pull this safety away. And you think this zone coverage is maybe a safer bet than a man-to-man type situation, but what's left over is Egbuka running what looks to be a route just in the flat, and then he bends it upfield into the end zone. So looks as though he's just running shallow, kind of replaces where this defender was, and after he was taken out of position, so there's absolutely no one there to defend it. This defender's in no position to do anything about it. He doesn't have leverage in the first place, and he's guarding this zone. And this guy's way too far inside as well. So once this guy's displaced, Egbuka is just wide open to the end zone. So a really well-designed play. So watch up there. You can see already this defender only has eyes on him. He has no idea that Egbuka is coming out to this outside towards all this open space because he's guarding a zone. And right there, beautiful throw. Good route from Egbuka to the end zone for the touchdown. And if you remember correctly, this game came down to the wire. It was a one-score game at the end. Ohio State ended up losing. But this, again, similar to the Notre Dame game we watched, is an example of Egbuka coming up in the clutch. This is on the final drive of the game. Ohio State needs to score points to win. Egbuka is going to be the guy that gets open on this play. You're going to see him here in the slot with the yellow arrow on him, matched up man-to-man with this defender. Here's the matchup. He's going to run a fade route. Egbuka will sell to the inside here, and when the corner flips his hips, gives up leverage, then he accelerates back outside, totally beats the corner on the route, and makes a nice adjustment for the catch on the sideline. A huge gain and a clutch moment. So watch Egbuka. As the play starts, fakes inside. You can see this defender give up a little bit of leverage, slid to the left a little bit, and then vaults outside. Really good stuff. And you can see it on this replay. Egbuka on the right side of the screen here. You'll see how he just cuts inside and out, flies outside after the defender gives up leverage right there, and he just has him beat, and a great catch. Good throw as well. Anytime you watch film on a prospect, you learn a lot about them. Personally, I was really surprised by Egbuka's speed. It helps him separate really well on his routes and could be a big reason why he exceeds the NFL from the slot. He's a great route runner, and I think he's kind of a jack of all trades when it comes down to it. He does a lot of things well, and I think he could be a really high-end wide receiver too at the NFL level, which is why he should be drafted in the first round. As far as dynasty rookie drafts go, he should easily be a first-round pick, with a really high floor and a possibility of going to a really good team right off the bat, since his projection is the mid to late first round. Also, at first glance, it doesn't appear to be the best receiver class in the world, so Egbuka could end up being one of the best receivers in the class when everything's all said and done. One thing's for sure, Ohio State pumps out a lot of good wide receiver talent, and Egbuka is the next in line to hear his name called in the first round of the NFL draft. There are a lot of NFL teams that could use a really high-end wide receiver too, especially in the slot. If he goes to a really good passing offense right off the bat, he could be extremely productive and one of the best wide receivers in the rookie class in year one. I hope you enjoyed this film breakdown. Remember to subscribe if you're interested in more content from us. I'm Joe, and this is Dynasty Trading Room.